As both a psychologist and soul healing specialist, I spend a lot of time during this time of the year talking about how to restore, how to reset, urging people not to outrun their souls. This is a time where, we're winding down the year, but a lot of things gear up. A lot of energy is spent just trying to get through the last 2 months of the year. And so when it comes to the month of December, there's a lot of busyness, but this is actually the perfect time to slow down and really think about what is it that I need to do to reset. This is a time that becomes very reflective for a lot of people. Holidays bring up a lot of old stuff. The beginning of the new year brings up stuff about, oh gosh, what didn't I accomplish? What did I say I was going to do, but I never did? And so to me, it's really important for us to talk a little bit about resetting the soul. Now, the essence of who we are, that energetic essence of who we are, knows what we need, but a lot of times our human condition doesn't always allow us to take that time to what I call pause, reflect, restore, and reset. And so, this is just what I want to emphasize right now. I have been hearing so many people telling me, and I mean so many people telling me, I'm so tired. I can barely move on the weekends or in evenings. I can barely motivate myself to do anything extra. The different concepts, the different messages of fatigue are thick right now. And I want to help you understand that, not only do we have our own stuff going on right now, we have our own personal stuff, our own individual soul stuff that's happening, our own human condition stuff that's happening. But you have to think about how fatiguing it is to watch what's happening around the world, absorb what's happening. Some of it we are directly being impacted by, other people aren't really being affected all that much yet, but that basically they're observing and having a lot of compassion and a lot of frustration for other people for what they're going through. So when it comes to re-energizing that essence of who we are, we have to be very intentional and mindful for how to do that. And again, December to me is the best time to do that. Now, in the article for this month, I talked a lot about what I do to clean out because it's really important for us to clean out before we fill up. I think I said that 1,000 times in my book, Soul Health Aligning with Spirit for Radiant Living, because unless we clean out, we don't have space to fill up. We don't have any more time and space and energy to put into anything unless we've cleaned out either what doesn't serve us anymore, people that don't serve us anymore, situations, emotions, our old stuff. And so this is such an important time to clean out. So I actually chose this background on purpose because I have spent the I don't know, the great deal of the last 3 weekends cleaning leaves from my house. I have so many big trees around me and I love my trees. And yet I have spent a lot of time blowing leaves, raking leaves, moving leaves, and grinding up leaves for my compost bin. And it's one of those things where I actually love doing it. I love getting in there with those leaves. I love, getting dirty with them. I love kind of throwing them in places that can serve as mulch. I love to kind of move them around. And I love the idea of how fast you see progress. I love how quickly you see change because when you rake or you blow leaves, you see what's underneath pretty quickly. And so metaphorically, I'm always thinking about metaphors. But the other reason that I really like moving leaves is the fact that it's mindless. I don't have to think a lot. I don't have to put any major planning into it. I just put them in the places I've always put them before and just kind of keep moving them and try not to get frustrated if the breezes, pick up and more leaves are stirring. It's just really that time where I know I'm going to be spending, 2 to 4 hours every weekend just getting those leaves out of the way. Metaphorically, again, we have to tend to our gardens. We have to tend to our soul's garden. We have to be intentional about what we clean out. We have to organize things and move things into places where we can manage them better. And so we have to pause. We have to, at this time of year, if we're going to create that evolutionary path for ourselves, we have to pause. We have to say, what is it that I need to take stock of? What is it that I want to align with my inner self? What is it that is missing from my inner self? What is it that is uh, overly misaligned? What is getting in the way of me feeling like I'm moving along life the way that I need to? Until we take stock in that, until we do that inventory, we're not really going to get anywhere. Our soul's evolution does not happen on its own. We just don't evolve on our own. We have to think about things. We have to be intentional. We have to take action. And so I talk about pausing, reflecting, restoring, and resetting. And we have to pause, we have to reflect. So, again, taking that inventory. And this is also, December is such an interesting month because we are all so tired by the time that December comes. And I'm laughing at this because obviously, as you look at me now, I look tired. I feel tired. I've been up since 3:30 this morning. I have not slept great these last several days and off and on for the last several months. But it's one of those things where I keep hearing so many people say they're having sleep issues. They're just tired, even if they do sleep, that they're overwhelmed by everything. We have to think about the combat fatigue energy that we're experiencing just by being in the world right now. And, our kind of combat fatigue is nothing compared to the countries that are literally under siege right now. And yet it is all relative. We all have to think about what it is that we need to do to pause, reflect, restore, reset. Now, when I'm talking about resetting, I don't honestly think we can reset unless we do that pausing, reflecting, and restoring. We have to reset ourselves at this point. Again, another funny thing about December, and I laugh about this because I'm always there too. I push toward the end of the year. I push to get stuff done. I push to clean out every nook and cranny of my house, closets, boxes, garage, all that kind of stuff. There's a push for me. And yet it is so gratifying because it does help me reset. I know that the more I clean out what is no longer serving me, what is in my way, what is getting in the way of me moving forward easily or with ease, that I have to reset that. I have to get that out of the way. Resetting in December is like an oxymoron. How in the world do we reset when we're busy? And yet, that is what we most want to do at this time. We want to chill out. We want to hang out with friends or family. We want to be in that place where we can relax a little bit more, have a little bit more fun. And, that is, again, that's why I'm urging everybody to really consciously think about what it is that they need to do that reset for themselves. For some people, it is getting away from everybody. For some people, it's getting to people, but with mindless care, meaning that they don't have to think about taking care of anything other than having fun. For other people, it's going and getting a massage or going on a retreat or planning your next trip for next year. Whatever it is for you, I just want to urge you to reset. This is a time, especially right now, we have to be conscious about what it is that our innermost self wants and needs in order for us to reset. Now, I have these yearly rituals, and I mentioned this in the article for the newsletter this month. But I have these monthly rituals and annual rituals where I clean everything out of my house that I can, take it all to Goodwill, take it to donation sites, whatever I need to do. I've done a lot of that lately. I cleaned the house. I did a deep clean on the house just so I can say, okay, I'm going into December with much less on me. So, knowing that the house is super, super clean, I don't have to think about that for December. I also go through my journals. I go through my journals from the year. This year, I have about 1.5 notebooks full of my words, my thoughts, my processes. I go through that journal every year and I flip through and I only keep the pieces, maybe 2 or 3 pieces a year of paper that still have something on it that I need to process a little bit more. But I burn the rest of that journal every year. I usually do it around the 30th, 31st of the year because what I want to do is I want to have that clean slate. I want to open the next year with a clean slate. I want as much behind me as I can get, which is also why I call myself Closure Queen. So it's one of those things where I just want to really urge you to think about what can I do to pause right now? What can I do to reflect on where my year has taken me and where I want to go in the future? What it is that I need to clean out? What it is that I need to let go of? That restorative work. What do I need to do to restore right now? What do I need to do to um, really kind of feed my soul, nourish myself, get more energy, get more insight, whatever it is? What is it that it's going to take to restore me? And what can I do to specifically and strategically reset? Now, that reset can come in lots of ways too. It could be sort of envisioning what you want out of the next year. It could be, again, kind of clearing out more and more of what you don't want around you anymore. It could be setting some goals. It could be making some travel plans, whatever it might be that will help you reset for the next year. I think it's December of every year is such an important time to do that because what is it we want most January 1st? We want to rest, we want to feel rested, and we want a clean slate. We want to take off without the busyness of the previous year, the heaviness of the previous year. So just reminders, most of you who follow me have heard these things before. I just wanted to give you another brief message again on how it is that you reset yourself for the next year. And in this case, it's 2026. So I don't expect people to feel overly energetic. The next several months, astrologically speaking and energetically speaking, are still going to feel very kind of turned. I keep calling it rototilled because we're the universe and the world are really turning over a whole lot of things and seeing what's under the surface so that we can work through them and we can discard what again we no longer want and basically what is not suiting any of us. So it's going to still be a little bumpy, but the more you clean out, the less affected you are. The more you clean out, the more you reset yourself, the less you are affected by what is going on around you. And I've said this a number of times in the last year, is that we have to take care of our own souls right now. That is our job. If we get caught up in everything else, yes, we have to observe it. Yes, we have to educate ourselves about what's going on in the world. We can take some action. We can write letters to Congress or Senate. We can make donations. We can do whatever it is that we feel like we need to do. But we have to take care of our souls. And the primary way to do that is by resetting. So thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to the reminders. I hope something will nudge you to do this pausing, reflecting, restoring, and resetting for yourself. And I hope you have a wonderful month. Bye-bye.